What's up, scumbags? I'm Dustin. Welcome back to Horror Movie Rewind. Get this piece of shit fixed. So in the next few weeks, I'm gonna rank, in my opinion, from worst to best, a couple of iconic franchises. I guess I'm not gonna tell you what they are. We're gonna start with Nightmare on Elm Street, but yeah. So I'm gonna cut the shit and start with the shittiest. We'll start with the shittiest, as in the worst, and work our way to the best. And this is a no-brainer for me. We're starting with 5, Dreamchild. This movie is absolute ass. There's not much else to say. And I've not been shy about my love for the franchise. If you can see here, I mean, you've seen it before if you watch my videos. And a part of that, oddly, is the cheese, goofy ass, like kind of somewhere around 3 or 4, Freddy Krueger's transformation to almost like a cultural icon in real life. So I don't mind the goofy, but I mean, even the film that follows this, which wasn't great either, but you know, like you pretty much get one scene that I give any shits about that, and that's the dinner scene, and it's just because he's wearing a red bow tie. But it's just trash. It looks like a bunch of scenes that could have been thrown away from the previous film, which I actually like a lot. And the biggest problem I got with it is one simple thing: is shouldn't even really be considered canon. Here's what I mean by that. We're not going to spend long on this piece of dog shit. You know, the reason for Freddy Krueger's appearance is just basic lexicon for like anybody that is even, you know, the most basic of horror movie fans. It's pretty central, and like, you know, that the backstory, right? Yet in this movie, you see Amanda Krueger give birth to something that looks like the result of Steve Buscemi fucking a xenomorph. Yeah, so this one's always kind of bummed me out. In a perfect world where Michael Bay actually gave a fuck about the product, even a little, rather than just pure profit, this could have probably worked. And obviously, you know that I'm talking about the remake from 2010. I'm going to say bum me out. Well, I mean, I went and seen it at the first available showing. Again, love this franchise. And it doesn't like have a shitty cast by any means. Jackie Earle Haley is probably about as good of a successor to Robert Englund you could get. I mean, you could argue your Kevin Bacon thing that, you know, the internet's loved for years, but I mean, honestly, Jackie Earle Haley was perfect, except for we didn't ever fucking see him. We seen some like Sci-Fi Channel, like the shittiest CGI. I'll get that in a second. And I mean, Kyle Gardner and Rooney Mara don't suck as actors themselves, but you know, you get a money grab that was attempting to be cute once or twice. Yeah, we got the micro nap thing and like whatever. And then you get like a twist, which the fuck are you doing? That shows the disconnect. Like, kind of like what I was saying about 5, but there's a pretty strict like guideline to follow with this mythology. And, you know, you try to throw a twist at us. They try to get cute for a second, but they didn't give a fuck whether it worked or not. Like, the people in charge, all they gave a shit about in this film was opening week profits. They damn sure didn't care about word of mouth afterwards. And it sucks because, again, it's not Jackie, Kyle, Rooney, none of their faults. This movie looked like it belonged on the Sci-Fi Channel, and nobody gave a shit. They were just laughing their asses off at us because it turned a really good profit. And, yeah, I could have put a couple other movies here that I probably would watch less, whether I died next year or 40 years from now. But this one always, like, kind of hurt my feelings. So I can't put it last, but I'm putting it here. All right, I'm going to do one more. I guess I'll break this down in like 3 different videos. It's 9 in the franchise. As we work our way to like greener pastures. Obviously, the most absurd comedically in the franchise is Freddy's Dead. And it follows in the footsteps of a couple of movies, and I'm sure I'll leave one out, that were released a year, 2 years previous, like Days of Thunder, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman, Gremlins 2, where it had a lot of product placement. And I mean, that's pretty much where the similarities with those films end. But it was kind of obvious. And again, like I mentioned earlier in this video, Freddy Krueger had become more of a cartoon character than a supernatural maniac. And is self-aware, again, of its idiocy, for lack of a better word. And it kind of makes it sad, honestly. But, I mean, you only have so far to go with it. And we do get to see Robert Englund's, like, chops. And this is a classically trained actor. So you get to see him play essentially like a Looney Tune cartoon character. But this movie kind of makes me think a lot about if, like, Wile E. Coyote was successful more often than not. But it's still dumb as fuck. So, you know, and you get a couple of cool cameos. This is why I'm not putting it last. I know a lot of people do. Like, actually, I don't know that because I haven't looked up anyone else's list. I just know people talk shit about this one, part 2, because they're homophobes. And, yeah, pretty much the other 2 I've already discussed. Everybody's got their own reasons for being more angry at one film than the other, but there's about 4 of them that are usually universally talked about. I promise you I haven't looked at anyone else's list. But yeah, so with this one, like, again, it's kind of sad because while it's making money and while you get to see Robert essentially might as well be like an alternate version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like just goofy as hell, it pretty much doomed the franchise until brilliant ass New Nightmare come out. But yeah, I mean, I definitely will place it above the previous 2 because it's self-aware, it's fun, and I mean, you get a couple of cameos. Yeah, whatever. Johnny Depp pops back up, but Brecklin Meyer, I've always liked him as an actor, and even though like you're not seeing him at his best in this, and I'm not even saying he's a good actor, I just like that guy for some reason. But it just is silly as hell. It knows it's silly as hell. And I think one of the main reasons why, because again, if you've watched anything I've done on this channel before, I admit that, like, for some reason, even though I was a horror fan since I was in like elementary school, not for some reason, I explain it, but Nightmare on Elm Street was kind of off limits for me because I had a nightmare when I was in single digit ages. And so when I watched this franchise for the first time when I'm like 12, 13 years old, all the way through, thanks again, Keisha, this movie, in a good way, even though this is 1999, like, added a nostalgic like feel to it because it does remind me of like an R-rated, like, extended Erie, Indiana episode. So I can't hate it as much as others. And honestly, I could probably move it up in the list a little more. But I do have to acknowledge just how, like, asinine it is. I got a dog barking in there. Anyhow, I'm Dustin. I appreciate you guys watching Sorry Movie Rewind. I'll have episode 2 done by Thursday. A couple more things hopefully tonight. YouTube's kind of the shit. I had my bank account hacked and they were really cool in like some other institutions. I just want to give them a shout out, but come back. I got stuck in a hole for a while, but I'm about to bust some things out later today and Thursday. Appreciate you guys.